It don't happen again, no. Nothing where Musa no go see forget. My wonderful Biafran people and the lovers of Biafran freedom. Make una gather here, come listen to an Obonga Biafran man who divide all odds. Despite we having most prominent men that we have in this country, knowingly and unknowingly, nobody dares to reply ASARI DOKUBO. But our own brother, don't arrow. This one is another Simon Ekpa, Mazin Namdekano, a fearless lion. You don't reply Simon Ekpa. Sorry, you don't reply ASARI DOKUBO for that if-fatal statement where you make. Make on hear this breaking news. Tragedy of an ancestral Igbo slave named Melford Goodhead alias ASARI DOKUBO, a confused, miserable, bankrupt, cash and carry Muslim. Hey, oh boy, this one, oh choke, oh, this one choked me on my medulla oblongata. As I say, no, they hear something. You don't jump person way past you. Oh yeah, now my wonderful people, I beg, make you subscribe to this channel. Don't forget, I repeat, don't forget to share this message. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, and don't you ever forget to comment. All the very, very necessary. In every content where you watch, whether my own or not my own, let the producer of that content know, say, people are watching and people have something to say about his or her content. That is the only way you can reward them. Not going to social media, YouTube, Facebook, any platform or whatsoever, watching things. People post it, they make you happy, they make you relax. Your only contribution towards them is for them to also receive your comment and your like and share, and a lot of them. So that's all the thing me. So my wonderful people, do not forget to subscribe, do not forget to like, do not forget to comment, and do not forget to share. As we go straight into the reason why we are here this Monday afternoon. I have great respect for such fearless and principal Niger Delta warriors as His Majesty King Ateke Tom Amanayabo of Okereka Kingdom of Okochiri and Chief Tompolo Government Owazide Egbon Tompolo. These are men of honor and principle whose pedigrees in militancy are not questionable. This is not the case with Mr. Melford DOKUBO Goodhead, a.k.a. Alhaji Mujahidi ASARI DOKUBO, whose trajectory of militancy is guided by the political compass of his stomach infrastructure. Yo, this one don't finish me. Oh. The people of Kalabari ethnic nation know their true sons and daughters, and Mr. Melford DOKUBO Goodhead, a.k.a. ASARI DOKUBO, is not one of them. Oh boy. This my guy, don't finish this ASARI DOKUBO. Melford. Well, I know they finish. Mr. Melford DOKUBO Goodhead, alias ASARI DOKUBO, contested local government election to be elected councillor and failed. He contested local government chairmanship election and failed because he was nothing to the people of Kalabari Kingdom. Other than there's nothing any contribution this man is even doing to the life of the people around him other than militancy. Other than a saboteur, a frustrated he-goat. Oh, while I know the finish, oh, but this news, before I go to the finish, the name to where ASARI DOKUBO don't carry for your head now, he go reach 1 million. Don't worry, we are coming, eh? He again contested for the House of Representatives. He failed. And when he attempted to cause problem after his serial rejection, he was reminded that as a third-generation descendant of Igbo slaves, he was barred by Kalabari customs and tradition from representing them politically. The big question is, if Melford DOKUBO Goodhead is not among the true sons of Kalabari ethnic nation, what then is his ancestry? Okay, ASARI DOKUBO, this question is left for you. Anyone that knows DOKUBO, forward this news for him. Let him listen to it and comment. We want to know your trajectory and your ancestral record. Melford DOKUBO Goodhead, alias ASARI DOKUBO, is a confused man because he is a man who is confused by his miserable Igbo origin. A man without a great grandfather. His history as a Calabari man only began with his grandfather, a slave from an unknown Igbo community. This is the irony of the same man speaking of selling the Igbos as slaves. Maybe that is the true fact, but he wants to cover his trajectory. That is why he made that comment. I refrain from responding to his leprous tirades against the Igbo, not because reminding a madman of his madness is not a worthy assignment, but because a man whose kinsman is dancing naked in the market square has his own share of the resulting shame. Mayford Dokubo Goodhead, alias ASARI Dokubo, is only a second-generation Calabari man whose grandfather, named Goodhead by his Calabari slave master, was a pure Igbo slave acquired in late 19th century by the trading family of another ex-Igbo slave, Nagbogu Harry Briggs. Ew, I know they finish. ASARI Dokubo, you must hear me today. Nagbogu Harry Briggs was indeed an Obosi man captured by the Abam warriors during one of their raids and consequently sold to the Aro slave traders, who thereafter resold him to King Amakari of Calabari. It was this family that named his grandfather Goodhead, because of his characteristics, obedience to his masters. Goodhead begot Dokubo, who in turn begot Mayford, now ASARI. That was all about his Calabari ancestry and nothing more. Empty drums make the loudest noise, they say. Mayford Dokubo Goodhead, alias ASARI Dokubo, is therefore a second-class slave, being an Igbo slave to an Igbo slave. So his attempt to link his ancestry to the noble Harry Briggs family is a fallacious attempt to elevate his confused paternal slave background. Likewise, his mother, who he claims to belong to Amakri royal family, was indeed the daughter of an Igbo slave housemaid to a member of King Amakari family, who was later sold off in form of marriage to Harry Briggs for Goodhead, his grandfather, as a compensation for his good behavior. Is it not therefore an irony of history that the same man whose grandparents were sold by Igbo as slaves to families of ex-Igbo slaves will be talking about selling the Igbos as slaves? This is the extent this man called Mayford Dokubo Goodhead, alias ASARI Dokubo, could go confused. Okay, he's a confused human being. Continue. I have further reason to refrain myself from responding to him because the man on whose presidential victory his present state of vile power of drunkenness is predicted, Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is currently wearing the garb of a clear-footed president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The question is, what happens to the lives of Mayford Dokubo Goodhead if the court nullifies Alhaji Bola Tinubu victory tomorrow? This is the one fundamental question such idle brain political scavengers like Mayford Dokubo Goodhead fail to ask themselves. The Nigerian of today is not the Nigerian of yesterday, where everything goes. The Igbo say in their words, Abuzu banti Abuzu banti na tuonu. The silent cricket is busy digging his hole. Nigeria is currently in a Machiavellian state of political shifting sand, with her tomorrows practically unpredictable. The time is coming when the likes of Mayford Dokubo Goodhead will have no place to hide their AK-47. The Igbo will often say, Onye na-amaro ebe mmiri si wee maa ya, amakwaghị ebe mmiri si kwụsị ịma ya. A person who did not know when the rain began to beat him would equally not know when it stopped beating him. And that is an Igbo adage. This is the case with Mr. Mayford Dokubo Goodhead, now Christian ASARI Dokubo. If Mayford Dokubo Goodhead, alias ASARI Dokubo, knows his true roots, he will not have he will not have opened his mouth to refer to the Igbos as slaves, bearing in mind that his ancestors, both through his father and mother, were victims of the said Igbo slavery. But how would he have known his accurate history? How would he have known that his father and mother were direct descendants of Igbo slaves sold to Amakri royal family of Kalabari Kingdom? How would he have known that King Amakari the first, the founder of present Kalabari royal family, was an Igbo slave who walked his way through the thick and thorns of slavery like King Pepel of Bonny, an Igbo slave who walked of Bonny, and King Jaja of Opobo, and Oladua Iguano to become king. It is impossible for a two-time university dropout like Mayford DOKUBO Goodhead to have known his ancestry to the letter. Mayford DOKUBO Goodhead, aka ASARI DOKUBO, dropped out from University of Calabar Faculty of Law. He came back to Port Harcourt to study political science at Rivers State University of Science and Technology and dropped out again. And since Togre and the Militancy, led with oil bunkering, became the quickest means economic relevance in the Niger Delta. He quickly reverted to Militancy, through which he engaged on oil bunkering. Outside is a primitive accumulation of incognitive wealth through selfish-driven militancy. Nobody in Nigeria would have cared to listen to him, much more seeing him casting aspersions to the Igbos. The same people that sold his ancestors to Kalabari peoples as slaves. I am not in any dispute with Mayford DOKUBO Goodhead, aka ASARI DOKUBO, over his support for Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for the obvious reason that they are fellow Southern jihadists. Moreover, Mayford DOKUBO Goodhead, aka Mayford DOKUBO Goodhead, ASARI DOKUBO, stated in black and white, as reported by Green Badge reporters issued on June 10 of 2022, that he is supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu for selfish reasons. Hear what he said on June 10 of 2022. When I was in prison, Tinubu was so kind to me. He paid my children's school fees. He gave me a house at VGC. He gave my wife a house at Oba. When Tinubu was taken to the code of conduct for trial, I trekked miles when I entered the court. He came to embrace me. After the court season, DOKUBO said that Nigerians will miss a lot if they fail to vote Tinubu, adding that he, Tinubu, has many qualities that will lift Nigeria beyond imaginations. Does the above statement indicate someone with a principle, noble antecedents, and cognitive intelligence? A serial betrayer and Judas Iscariot par excellence, and master blackmailer. When it suits his selfish interests, he lays claim to his cloudy and servile Igbo origin, and when the milk appear not to be flowing from the fountain of his Igbo origin, he relapses into his questionable and foggy Kalabari identity. He betrayed his mentor, Henry Oka, who at one time sold his house in South Africa to purchase arms and ammunition for him. Henry Oka is currently serving a prison sentence in South Africa on account of the betrayal of Mayford DOKUBO Goodhead, aka ASARI DOKUBO. The same Judas Iscariot, Mayford DOKUBO Goodhead, not satisfied with the betrayal of Henry Oka, went further to betray his first son, who is currently serving a prison sentence in Abuja. How can such a man be accepted as a true son of Kalabari land? Impossible, an impossibility. Mayford DOKUBO became a BIAFRAN agitator not because of revolutionary instinct, which he does not have, or patriotic Igbo spirit, which he lacks as well, but because his propensity towards insane and opprobrious pursuit of ill-gotten wealth. He was an unrepentant BIAFRAN agitator and comrade at arms with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu when the money was flowing, but when the conduit pipe of Biafran sovereign agitation wealth began to dry up, he immediately switched over to anti-Biafra and anti-Igbo agitator, and subsequently an irrecognizable enemy to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He scanned Muammar Gaddafi to become a Muslim freedom fighter with the objective of declaring jihad in Niger Delta, which he failed to do, and instead became a militant addicted to kidnap of oil workers and bunkering. This explains why the current governor of Rivers State made it known to him that Rivers State is a Christian state. So let him pipe low. All the reign of what do they call it? Of Nyesom Wike in Rivers State. This man called ASARI DOKUBO never raised one voice either to say anything good or bad concerning Nyesom Wike. If not, he would have been here when I visited Libya in 2009. On the invitation of the Libyan government, I was offered a mouth-watering incentive to convert to Muslim and serve as an alternative to Melfort Dokubo Goodhead, who had by then been declared a person non grata by the Libyan government for betraying their trust in him as a Mujahideen, holy warrior in Niger Delta. I was promised $250,000 as a primary incentive, which I constantly rejected on the ground that coming from a strong Christian community, I will no longer be trusted by my people. That was after Nigeria's Senate President, Senator David Mark, had described Colonel Muammar Gaddafi as a madman for suggesting the diversion of Nigerians into many countries, to which Colonel Gaddafi was not happy with the personally protested to the Nigerian delegation during our meeting with him. It was for the reason of this betrayal of trust against the Libyan government that the Fulani leadership in Nigeria never trusted him as a true Muslim. He made fruitless efforts to be considered as a worthy Muslim slave to the Fulani throughout the 8-year regime of Muhammadu Buhari in order to be awarded the contract for the protection of oil pipelines. The contract was later awarded to Chief Tompolo government Owezide Ekpomopolo. The Fulani know that anybody who professes Biafra and claims to be a Muslim is an what? Is an apostate. Finding himself miserably abandoned by his so-called Fulani Muslim brothers, he turned into a desperado and made a direct attack on Muhammadu Buhari's administration. In return, his so-called university in Benin Republic, which was considered as a scam, was sealed off and eventually closed. His so-called soccer academy in Abuja was no more and no less an abandoned graveyard. His illegal conduit for oil bunkering was further sealed off by the military. This explains his recent accusation against the military for engaging in oil bunkering. Melfort Dokubo saw himself bankrupt overnight. His saving grace became the emergence of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as APC presidential candidate and subsequently the temporal president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Reasonable Nigerians should therefore not consider Melfort Dokubo as a man of reasonable sense of moral judgment, principle, and political consequence. As a man noted for his shameless state of amnesia, Nigerians should not be surprised if the same man turn against Bola Ahmed Tinubu to support Peter Obi if the former loses in court. And now so the thing take be. When I don't hear about this one and a person wey get mouth wey go fit challenge ASARI DOKUBO as our Igbo elders and the prominent men refuse to comment. So this person have already come out now to label our ASARI DOKUBO, the 70-year-old man, a good head. The story never finish, so we still continue. ASARI DOKUBO, the inconsequential pig of the creek. And I saw this one, talk about this one is another headline. I'm not gonna hear it. The inconsequential pig of the creek is just a tadpole compared to our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's height of reasoning, exposure, and forming a well-accepted opinion. The creek pig is potential criminal who derive joy from the suffering of his so-called Niger Delta people. the ex-militant and founder of the Niger Delta People's Volunteer Force, is a potential terrorist that needs to be put up in jail for being an outlaw against the control of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. ASARI DOKUBO the good head, who is your father's and what is your family's surname? ASARI DOKUBO, before you make jest of Igbos and IPOB, have you cared enough to ask your father if actually you are not a bastard and why your people are living in creeks and not in the hinterlands like normal humans? Normal ones do. We are not in the same league of reasoning with you because we have observed and seen that you are a demented and untamed wild creek pig that we always consider to swim back in the Fiji waters thinking you were bathing in jacuzzi. ASARI DOKUBO, this boy must surely finish it today. You must surely have heart attack after listening to this video. Till thy kingdom come, you can never be a match to Ndi Igbo, including all your family members joined together. ASARI DOKUBO, what is your family history? We really care to know, because the very last time we checked on you, you were living in creek, blowing up pipelines and installations as a militant, demanding for compensations from the Nigerian government. We also know you to be a very unstable and inconsistent man and always subtle in life. ASARI DOKUBO, what happened to the money the Nigerian government under the former president Olusegun Obasanjo's administration and that of Yar'Adua paid into your account to take proper good care of your Ijaw people, whom you claim you were fighting for their rights and help the government build a serene and livable environment for the people of Ijaw nation? As a potential criminal that you are, immediately the money got into your bank account, ASARI DOKUBO, you abandoned your people of Ijaw nation and went to a fatherland to build up a private and personal university for yourself with the sweat and blood of those innocent youths. You decided, claiming you were a freedom fighter. ASARI DOKUBO was the main arrow head who was supervising the kidnapping of foreign oil expatriates and later moved to kidnap highly placed individuals in Nigeria for ransom in the Niger Delta. ASARI DOKUBO was responsible for the blowing up of oil facilities in the Niger Delta. His militant group killed so many Nigerian soldiers seen within the Niger Delta. He was brandishing AK-47 automatic rifles and raised insurrection against Nigerian government and what the constitution upholds. Yet the Nigerian government can't confine his threat with the prison walls. ASARI DOKUBO is a rebel, Rosa, and a con artist. He's always seen first anywhere that money will come out from. These potential criminals windowed the sum of 20 million naira out of the 200 million he requested from the IPOB leader and used the money for personal aggrandizement as an insatiable, greedy stomach infrastructure double agent. The inconsistent con artist is no longer ashamed of claiming to be a freedom fighter for bunkering militants, from militant to ex-militant, from ex-militant to oil pipeline guard, from the oil pipeline guard to Biafra agitator, from Biafra agitator to ex-Biafra agitator, from ex-Biafra agitator to a political thug, from a political thuggery to government informant, and then how will people take this criminal serious? ASARI DOKUBO, on a scale of 1 to 100, you are no match to a great Igbo race and the wider IPOB family that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu led. Your life records are painted and dented with criminality exercises, and you are nothing but a petty thief. This criminal called ASARI DOKUBO is now trying so hard to gather attention to himself and make self look relevance before his paymasters by using the name of IPOB leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his illegal detention in DSS Gulag to look for oil guard contracts in Aso. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu cannot and never be in the same level with a low-life ASARI DOKUBO whose only means of survival is by involving a criminality exercise. Mazi